Hi you guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Patience. To my existing subscribers, welcome back. If this is your first time here, be sure to click that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can continue to indulge in the Hot Bella experience. In today's Get Ready With Me video, I am going to be using the Beautopsy eyeshadow palette from Hindash. I have to admit this is the most unique palette I've ever seen, and I am so happy to add this particular palette to my collection. It's unique in so many ways. The packaging of this palette is gorgeous. It's a matte finish, very nice, very thin, very sleek. This palette is a 6-pan, 12-shade pressed pigment gradient face and shadow palette with a 24-color payoff. There is an info card that also comes with this palette. And the info card gives instructions on how to use. It says, create the ultimate look by swirling your brush along the gradient pans to customize your perfect shade. Sweep along eyes, cheeks, brows, highlights, and contours of the face. You are the artist of your masterpiece. The names of the 6 pans in this palette is also very unique. The lightest shade is called Tan Lines, and it's described as a soft tan brown that blends into a pure white. Wet Paint, which is described as a beige that blends into a banana yellow. Boy Wonder is a peach that blends into a bubblegum pink. Feel Real is a neutral brown that blends to a true concrete gray. Love Kills is a fiery orange that blends into a hot red. And Intra Fatum, which is a chocolate brown that blends into a pitch black. Everything about this palette is so unique. So if you'd like to see how I created this eye look and also use this palette as a face palette, then keep watching. My face has been cleansed and I used my Elemis Rehydrating Ginseng Toner to tone my face. I then followed up with my fresh black tea kombucha facial essence. I moisturized with my Tatcha water cream. And I use my Fenty Pro Filter Primer to prime my face. My eyes have been prepped. I use my P. Louise eyeshadow base. And I'm still using my Patrick Ta Major Brow Tinted Wax, along with my eyebrow pencil from Benefits. I'm ready to get into these eyes, and I think the only thing that I know for certain that I'm going to do is that I'm going to use this highlighter from Becca. This is in the shade Rose Gold. I say that because I haven't determined exactly what type of look I'm going to create using the Beautopsy palette from Hindash. This is the only sure thing I know about this look at this point. We're going over to some friend's house for some cocktails and hors d'oeuvres. So, you know, I just kind of wanted to put myself together. I'm excited to get out and about because it makes me feel like this pandemic is really coming to an end. It's time for my transition shade, and I am going to use some part of this pan right here. This is the Love Kills pan, and this is described as a fiery orange that blends into a hot red. So yeah, I'm going to start there and pray for the best. I'll go not too dark, so staying about in the middle is where I'm going to go. Tap that off. I'm interested in trying the Feel Real pan here, and I think I'm going to play in this deeper area up in here. So I'm going to take some of this on my brush, and I am going to lay this down in the crease area. It doesn't appear to be too dark in the pan, but I'm just curious to see how deep this shade will go. These two colors layer really nicely together. I like this a lot. I am going to now go into this pan. This is called Intra Fatum, I think is how that's pronounced, Intra Fatum. And I want to deepen this up just a little bit more. I've watched some other videos posted by content creators that I'm subscribed to, and they have this palette. And one of the things that has been mentioned is the fact that there is no kick up in the pan and no fallout at all from these shadows. And that's true. If you can see, I'm just kind of swirling my brush in here, playing around, and there is no kick up in this pan. And if I were to tap it off, there's no dust or anything that's flying around in the air. Pretty impressive, I must say. But yeah, I'm going to put this on the outer V, and I'm going to keep this a little bit more tightly, I think, this time around, and see what this does. So this is deepening up quite nicely. I like that, but I'm going to take it one more step further. I think I'm going to go closer down to this end, just on this outer V, just a little bit, just to see what that does. Keeping this a little tighter and a little lower on my lash line, towards my lash line this time around. So it does have quite a bit of smoke to it. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. So if I wanted to, you know, create one of those more dark, sultry types of look using this palette, I can definitely find my way into a dark, smoky area or a dark, smoky hue. So that is good. And again, the way these layer on top of each other, you know what? It almost reminds me of the way Viseart can lay and blend with its own formula of shadows. This is what this kind of reminds me of, in the way it glides onto the eye and the way the shades all blend together. Very nice. Very, very nice. I've carved out my lid. I did my little half cut crease type situation that I always do. And I'm going to go back into the Beautopsy palette once again from Hindash. And I am going to soften up the edges as I always do. And I'm going to go back into, I think, I'm going to go back into the Feel Real pan again. And I'm going to stick with this shade here. And I'm just going to soften up these edges. Now I'm going to go all the way over here to the other end here. This is the wet paint pan. And I think I'm going to go all the way up here. I'm going to keep it quite light, just to lighten this eye up just a little bit. And I'm going to go right here. Again, no kick up in the pan, nothing so far, no fallout. This is amazing. This is also an all matte look, as every shade in this Beautopsy palette is a matte shade. So these are pigments, so I'm going back into Feel Real again. That's this pan right here. And I am going to go back into the highest part of this pan up here because I want to do a little bit more blending, just to blend these shades together that I have on my lid. I just want them to just merge into each other ever so gently. I like this. This is really pretty. I'm now going to go back into the Love Kills pan right here, and I'm going to use my smaller blending brush, and I'm going about in the middle towards the top area in this pan, and I'm going to just add a little bit more definition into the areas where I've had to manipulate my natural crease line. I think this eye look is coming together quite nicely. So I'm going to add my liner and my lashes, and I'll be right back. My liner and my lashes are done, and I've done a little color correcting today. I used my Tatcha Pearl under my eyes, and I used my Kevin Aquan in my mouth area. So just a little bit of color correcting. So I'm going to go ahead and start on my complexion. I'm also going to be using the Hindash Beautopsy palette as a face palette to help me out with my complexion today. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with concealer. I'm going to place concealer in all the areas that you would normally want to highlight and or conceal. And I'm using my concealer from Fenty Beauty. Every time I think that I have no more product in the bottle and that I am done using this concealer, I'm able to get a little bit more out of the container. So I'm going to keep at it until nothing else comes out of this bottle. I'm using my Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop tint. I believe it's what it's called. Yeah, the Eavesdrop tint from Fenty Beauty. And I did not do any cream contouring or anything like that underneath. I'm going to try to keep this light. That is so hard for me to do because as much as I say I want to keep it light, I end up going in heavy every time. But I'm trying to keep it light. I've really been liking using this tint here lately. It's really, really nice. It's not too heavy, of course, but it still has coverage. So I like that. This works as a light foundation for me more so than it would a tint, I would say, because when I hear the word tint, I think that it's going to be like super, super light coverage, and that's just not the case with this. I get some coverage out of this, and I really like it. I've got two of the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter setting powders here. This is in the shade Honey and this is in the shade Banana. So I'm going to use the Banana to set my under eye area, and I'm going to use the Honey to do a light dusting on top of the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop tint that I already have on my face now. And if I forgot to mention, I am using the tint in shade 17. I probably should have tried using one of the shades out of the Hindash Beautopsy palette to set my under eyes. I'll try that the next time that I use this palette. Eyes are set. Base is set. I'm going back into the palette again, and I'm going to go back into this pan. This is the Love Kills pan. This has that fiery orange that takes you into the red shade. So I'm just kind of going to use, I think, a combination of both of these. I think that's what I want to do, and hope that this is not going to go on too pigmented, but this is a pigment palette, so it should allow me to build it up. So let's see. Not bad. Not bad at all. I'm now going to do a little bronzing, and I want to use this shade right here, but I think my brush may be too big. I'm going to try it and see if I can. Oh, okay, it goes right in there. I thought my brush would be too big because the pan sizes, I don't know, they look small, and I'm just not used to using this type of product, but the brush fit right in there. And this is what the shade looks like on my brush. So let me see. I may want to deepen this up just a little bit, but let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna mix this shade here. I'll stay with this shade, but I think I'm gonna have to mix a little bit of the deeper shade in with it in order for me to get a bronzing shade that's going to work for me. Let me just kind of make both sides even before I start adding more or switching up. I have to deepen up a little bit, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to tap into this right there and see if that gives me just a little bit more. All right, I think that may be giving me just a little bit more warmth. Just a little bit more, mixing those two together. So just mixing these two together. I think that bronzed me up quite nicely. I'm going to use my sponge just to kind of soften up a few areas that are looking kind of harsh to me right now. I'm going to take a little bit of this shade and I'm going to take it just down the nose here. This is a beautiful nose contour shade. It is now time to smoke out my waterline. I'm going to go back into the deepest pan in the Beautopsy palette. This is the Intra Fatum pan. So I'm going to go right in the middle. I don't want it to be too dark, so I'll just go right in the middle here. And I'm just going to smoke out my waterline here just a little bit. Oh yeah, this gets really smoky. And while I'm here, I think for my inner corner, I'm going to go into this pan right here. This is called Tan Lines, and I'm going to go right in the middle here. I don't want it too stark, but just like right in the middle. And I'm going to pop this right here and just gently wrap it around to meet up on this bottom here to try to lighten this up just a little bit because she got smoky real quick. Just a little something in the inner corner. I want to use a little bit of highlighter, and there's not a shimmer shade or a highlighter type of shade in the Hindash Beautopsy palette, so I am going to use this Throwback Dose of Color highlighter. This is in the shade Melonade. This was one of the first highlighters that I purchased from Dose of Colors a little while ago, but I'm going to use this today, and I am going to add a little bit of highlight or shimmer right on the highest part of my cheekbones, because everything that I've done so far for this look has been matte. So I want to add just a little bit of shimmer to it. I like to add a little shimmer there, just down the bridge of the nose, just a little bit. A little bit on the Cupid's bow. Very nice. It is now time for lips, and I'm going to use my lip pencil from MAC. This is in the shade Cork, and I'm also going to use again my lipstick from Hank and Henry. This is in the shade Sext. I like this shade a lot. It is a beautiful nude shade. I'm going to use a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. And this look is done. I'm still trying to maintain my recording and my uploading schedule. So you may notice that the lighting in this video is a little bit different, or some other little minor things may be different. But girl, I'm trying to tell you, I am really lucky to be sitting in front of this camera recording at this very moment. If you could see what's going on behind this backdrop, you would understand exactly what I'm talking about. But I was really excited and could not wait to show you guys this palette. This palette is one of those palettes when you see it, you're like, what is that? It's gorgeous to look at. It is so pleasing to the eye. I feel like I am actually recording this video in a construction zone or in a construction area. There's so much going on, and I'm looking forward to doing the big reveal with you guys. So I hope you guys liked this video. And if you did, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye-bye.